kick this off. Hello and welcome to the August 28th Helm developer meeting. My name is Robert. I'll be your host. This is a CNCF project and it falls under the code of conduct of the CNCF. So be nice to everybody. This is also recorded. And if you don't want to be recorded, please fall off and you can watch the recording later. And let's get started. All right, announcements. Karen, the floor is yours.
Yeah, and just real quick, I signed us up for a booth at the Project Pavilion for KubeCon.
Okay.
If anyone remembered, I did originally sign us up for AM hours. However, I did reach out to the the event committee because our original slot for the maintainer session and I think the Contrib Fest were at the same time.
Yep.
So I asked them to shift that around, and so as of shifting that around, they shift our booth time around. So now we are doing PM shifts. So I was supposed to do it this call, but I will do it next call. I will create a spreadsheet and then we can start signing up for shifts. That said, can I get a rough idea of who plans to be going to the conference, just so I kind of can have some or like know who to follow up with and whatnot?
So
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. I am going. I'm going to be I'm going to be working the morning Kube Warden booth, but I asked George to have my booth right next to the Helm booth, so I can
nice.
I can kind of flex in on both sides. So I kind of two birds, one stone. That being said, I will wait to see what the schedule looks like from our perspective, and then I can work around that. So that's just for me.
Cool. Anyone else?
Karen, I plan to be there, but I don't know that I'm included in your group.
You're welcome to come hang out. Yeah, we would love to have you. You don't have to be like, it's maintainers.
I guess what I'm asking is it wouldn't get me into the conference.
No, yeah, not for the booth staff. It usually, and just for future reference, like tickets are assigned through speaking for the most part, not for project pavilions. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more announcements?
I'll also be there. Yes. And quick question, Karen, I think you might. I know you're already talking to Kaylee about like swag and different things like that. She wanted to know how many people, or actually maybe this is a question you asked her to ask me. I don't know. How many people we think are going to be at the booth who have helped work on Helm 4?
I guess I'd upset of this, right? Yeah.
Yeah, of even calculating that. I mean,
I don't think we've looked at contributions to main since we cut over, but maybe that's something we can look at, Scott, is to say who contributed to main and then take a sample number of that, maybe.
Yeah, and then like kind of guess who's gonna be there. She's basically wondering how many how many shirts to make for people as like a thank you, if it's even viable. Oh, by the way, Robert, I did this is probably a separate topic, but just I can note it and pin it for later that I wrote some fun scripts to get, because it's not just who contributed to main, but it's who contributed to the dev v4 branch before it switched to main, and then who contributed to main since it switched over. So I made a little script using the GitHub API to like get that information so that we could start collecting like a list of, all the new features.
Yep.
Yeah, so maybe we should just check in about that later too, because I know you guys are looking at that.
Yep. Maybe touch base on it with our one-on-one tomorrow. You mean? Okay, cool.
Yeah, good thinking.
Right.
Okay, so Karen, I guess I just don't. I think Kaylee said she'd need it by like, within a month or something. So
okay. Well, we can take this to Slack.
Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise I'm good on my topic. It's more of an announcement. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Karen. My discussion, charts, Helm charts v3. Working with Farina on this, it looks to be a bigger undertaking than the time frame we have to comfortably refactor to handle two versions of charts. So going back and forth with Matt because he's the release engineer and the timing we have, we're going to table Helm's chart V3 until Helm 5 and give us a little more ramp up and leeway. We lost a little time with the regressions that we had. Not blaming anybody, it's just a timing thing. So in talking to Matt, I said, hey, this is going to be a bigger thing. We walked it through and we kind of decided that, you know, we don't really have enough time to get it in safely and get towards the code freeze and then work through the issues that we are going to be finding coming up here. Questions, comments, concerns?
Yes, question.
There.
Well, actually two things. One is charts v3 doesn't need to meet the code freeze for the launch of Helm 4. It can be added at any point. Because we're still going to be supporting, you know, v2 throughout the span of Helm 4. In the past, when we added, for example, v2 on top of v1 and v3, we've staggered them so they didn't really. It can be released at any point, really. I guess is what
I think the concern might be the changes to the API to support different chart versions.
Correct.
Rather than the actual supporting of the chart version.
Yeah, and that's where Matt was biggest concern, because I said, hey, this doesn't follow any pattern, right? Like architectural pattern. So it's kind of a hodgepodge. If I break this over here, it might impact someone down the road. And then it's a maintenance nightmare. So he was like, hey, I'd rather not have a maintenance nightmare and then push it through. So it's less of having both versions there and supporting, and one can go without. It's the APIs that Matt's concerned about. And he's a release engineer. I'm not gonna, I lose most of my fights with him. I said that on record.
Yeah. Well, then I guess the second question is, right, none of us have enough time to actually like complete whatever that would be in the next few days. So I think that's kind of a.
That's what I said to Matt. I was like, unless you want to grab all the maintainers and we do like a 24-hour, you know, jam session, you know, and we just code and fall asleep and wake up and code for the next couple of days. And he just doesn't feel it's a viable option for the team. I said, okay.
I mean, I would honestly like collab with people over the weekend, but
Of course you would.
So
yeah, but okay. So then my second question is like, is the goal to then for a main ultimately revert that PR that added charts v3 so that that's removed from, I know it's just internal for now, or is the idea that we continue to work on it internally throughout?
Yeah, the idea is to continue to work on that internally because it won't impact current users, but then to come up with a plan to refactor to allow us to handle multiple chart versions. We call it VN. And then from there, it's not a maintenance nightmare. So if you look at how actions understand how actions work, you'd have switch statements everywhere instead of having a switch statement that handles everything below it. If that makes sense, sir. Okay. In Slack, if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and I'm glad to take this offline and go deeper. Okay.
It's a shame because it seems like we almost could put it behind an experimental flag and just add switch statements and be done with it for release.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. If you want to take that to Matt, and if he's willing to say, hey, yeah, it's worth the risk, I'll try to grind it in there. But like I said, I lose my arguments with him.
Right. Okay.
Does existing features that are merged for targeting Helm v4, do they need to be changed to go back to importing from charts v2?
No, because those haven't been changed yet.
Okay.
So yeah, so Matt brought in Helm charts v3. Those are sitting internal, but no other functionality touches the code base. It's just there waiting to be consumed. We just couldn't refactor enough in time, that's why it's just going to sit there. But I will say, doesn't mean that we can't shoot for Helm v5 and this be one of the priorities is to refactor and get this in. We got through charts or Helm v4, right? We're about done. So, I mean, from a team perspective, I think it won't be that big of a push.
Cool.
trying to be positive. Okay, I'll shut up now and move on to Scott. The floor is yours. A new plugin system, please.
Yeah, so it really is the second bullet point that I care about the most, at least for the dev call.
I'm
there's-
sorry, so the hip removal. Is that the link you want me to?
Yes, and maybe just click the first link first. It's just context for the second one. So basically, if you've been on any Helm dev calls like over the last I don't know how long, you know that there's a new plugin system being added to Helm 4, and this PR is a PR that adds a part of the hip that is required for the security side of things, which is the ability to package and sign and verify plugins. I expect this to be merged probably today. It's had a lot of eyes on it. I think Andy's doing a final review by testing a lot of the GPG stuff. It uses the same internals as Charts uses for signing, so I'm not getting onto the what signing tool should we use more. Basically, as soon as we add additional signing methods to Charts, it will work equally for plugins too. So that's really the context for this. My second question is this second link, this other PR to remove unnecessary file IO operations for signing and verifying. The reason I wanted to mention this is because right now in the provenance package that's used for Charts signing and verifying, and all over the Helm code base, as a lot of us know, there's just a huge assumption that we're on a system, we're running Helm on a system that can write to disk. And second, it just unnecessarily, a lot of the functions unnecessarily just do a lot of these IO operations. They write a lot of things to cache, even though it's not really used for cache. It's often used as a temporary place in order to do something else, as opposed to just passing that chart in memory to the other functions. So this PR doesn't do that across the entire Helm code base, but it does, at least for the verification side, the provenance package, change those so that instead of passing file path or chart path everywhere, it just passes the chart, because the functions that I'll call them, they already have the chart. They just save it to a disk and they say, oh, here's the path to it. And then the next function will load it and do a thing to it and then pass that file path to some other function. So this just basically takes out that middle step. Yeah.
So I know, real quick, I know Matt had I wish he was here. He had a PR that was addressing some of these things with Providence as well. Is this competing, clashing, or complementary to that? Do we know? Because he had, I don't know where it's at right now, but that's my question is hey, is this going to complete?
I'm happy to not compete with it and just to do the thing. I don't care.
No. What I'm saying is we got two different. He's got one path, and I know he's touching some of the same things you're touching. Is I don't want you guys to overwrite.
That's what I meant. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy if the code he's writing he does those things, I'm happy to just not do those things in these ways and just build on top of what he's doing. So I'm looking right now. I see 3 open PRs from him.
To the question of should we try and remove file system access, I think the answer is yes. I think when Helm was solely a CLI tool, it didn't really matter. As we get more engagement with SDK, it becomes more important to not act like a CLI tool and act like a grown-up program which manages its resource usage. And I feel like this is almost something we should write down, the general concept of when things should be expected to go to disk and when things should be passed around in memory, and there's probably a lot of discourse to be had. But in general, I think the idea is correct. Just details.
Cool. Yeah, that's mainly what I was asking about. And Robert, I don't see an open PR from Matt that addresses this, so I guess we can follow up with him about that. maybe he didn't open it yet.
He did. I'm looking. He's
Oh.
slacked it in my work Slack, so I'll find it and I will Slack it to you and our Helm maintainers, so you can kind of. It might be already merged. I know he was working on something and he asked me to look at it, and that's when I was like, oh, you're talking Providence. He's did Providence. Let's just make sure we're on the same page.
Was it the? Oh, sorry. Was it the content cache?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that that didn't that will not flash, I don't believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. I hear you now.
Mhm.
I'll just take another quick peek over it to see. But I believe we're updated to, I think we've updated to main since that happened. Yeah, and it doesn't actually touch the provenance package. It touches like these other like registry, download, and commands.
Okay.
So we should be anyway. Thank you.
Yep. Are we good? So can we move on, Scott?
I think so. The only, I guess, just George, do you have anything that you needed to bring up around the WASM plugin PR stuff?
No, I merged my support for WASM
Okay, great.
3 minutes ago, so doing it
Okay.
live.
Okay, great.
But yeah, like any feedback, people testing it out, that would be great. Like the code is one thing, the actual people seeing it work and meet the use cases is the most important thing. So anybody who has time to try it out, that would be much appreciated.
All right. We shall move on. Terry, you're up next. I've linked your PR for discussion. I think you did the same.
Oh yeah.
Floor's yours, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up there when I was going over the shovel thing, there's a couple tests that needed to be fixed. So that shuffle PR is I marked it a work in progress, but there's a list of PRs in there of the tests PR fixes that I made. So if people could take a look at it, that would be appreciated. One I assigned to Jesse. I don't know if you noticed, it was around the what was it? Package action or the stack thing. Anyway, if you get a chance, Jesse.
Yeah, I'll take a look. I don't always see when something's just assigned to me because a lot of people in my company do that.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I hear you. Anyway, and what's my next item? Oh, yeah, I guess that's about it on that. But then I was wondering what people's general feeling was on activating Copilot Agent for Helm because it's not working right now.
I thought you could request, do you mean to automatically reviews or?
Well, the PR reviews work, but the actual agent doesn't work. Like I can't assign a issue to Copilot and have it create a PR.
Do we want that?
And I think, oh, it's awesome.
I like to try. I've had
am
limited
not
positive experience, but
yeah, I'm not against trying it. To say we need to fully implement it, I'd like to make sure the group is comfortable with it, but I'm all for trying it.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't. Go
if
ahead.
if you guys decide that you don't want to do something like that, you could use a tool like OpenCode. It's very good at you can give it the GitHub issue as a TXT file, and it will do the same sorts of things that Copilot's agent will do.
I'd give a thumbs up for trying the Copilot. It's well integrated.
Yeah, for simple things, it works pretty well. It'll crank things out.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I guess we already have bot users, Dependabot and so on, who make commits, and we have to approve those already. Well, I mean, I can help with the org side of things if we need to.
There's also, and I raised a PR in the Helm www, the website repo to add there's like a file GitHub / Copilot instructions, and it provides some structured context on the for Copilot that makes it a little more efficient. Or with that same structured context, you could be a lot vaguer on your prompt. Let's put it that way.
So do you want to connect on this next week? I'll be back from KCD Columbia on Tuesday, so maybe, I mean, it'll be, so maybe on Wednesday, and it'll be the day before next dev meeting.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be out. I don't think I'll make the next dev meeting, but
Maybe the
sometime
following week
after.
then.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I guess
Thanks.
that in terms of managing expectations, cool.
Yeah. All right. For our last topic here, Scott, start working on docs for pre-release. The floor is yours, sir.
Sort of says it all. Yeah, I guess,
Yep.
or I guess the question is, do we have any, I know that there's a HIP that's being worked through right now for the new docs website, and the structure is to get the actual tool going to import the content over as it is. So there's not going to be like it's not like there's totally different content being made right now, and then we're somehow going to have to merge them. It's not. So it'll be just sort of we port it over, and then we at that point update the structure, so it'll be pretty easy. My question though is to help users. So anyway, I just wanted to mention this is not about that specifically, because that'll be ported over when but to help users to guide people, or to help users make the best use of this 2-month window between the pre-release and the full release of Helm 4. I'm wondering, are there things that we want to, that we, not necessarily full documentation, right? But are there things that we want to like give them out of the gate?
So notionally, we've talked about this previously. Sorry, well, I think we need to create a change log. That would be the first thing of what's actually materially changed, and then people can go look at that. And notionally, we talked about going through Git the commits domain and building that.
I feel like Benoit had maybe created a change log.
If someone's already done it, that'd be awesome. But I think that'll be the first thing to start to produce, and then from that we should make sure those changes have documentation, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the thing that I mentioned to Robert at the beginning about that little script I wrote, like it still requires going through manually, because there are our use of the tags to backport and then removing that tag when the backport was complete means we can't like automate seeing what had been. I guess what I mean is, even though we can see a change log, we actually have to go through it manually and make sure that those, just see which changes haven't had their own version backported to V3, because a lot of them have, and a lot of the times the code is necessarily different, and so you can't just automate seeing the difference there. But yeah, so that might be nice to collaborate with Benoit and maybe look at the script, and I got some part way through it.
Okay.
Anyway, that makes sense to me, is to like start with the log. I mean, I guess we'll need something. We'll need that. Normally we would have that as part of our release notes for the actual release. But when we're talking about a major release, we do kind of more than just normal sort of scanning through release notes, you know? So I just wanted to bring it up because we are going to be asked, and we hopefully will be encouraging a mass of people to kick the tires, you know, and they just kind of know, we need to know, like, I don't know which tires, maybe it's not a good analogy because everyone knows how to kick tires, but like, you know, like what the new shape of the tires are and where they are and whatever. Okay, sounds like this isn't a contentious idea. So that was all I wanted to mention. Thanks.
All right. All right. HIP reviews. I think it was brought up earlier by Scott. Does anyone have any more HIP reviews? Shout outs? Social media.
Definitely shout outs. I mean, like at least to the people on the call, like literally every single one of you. Yeah. I was like, who's that last person? Yeah, that's Joe. Every single one of you, like, seriously, shout out. Yeah, like, Robert, seriously, for continuing to, like, not only help with that, like, getting together that 1 minute video thing, but for relentless code reviewing and specifically, unit test pushing, super important. Like Jesse for helping to review tests a lot and for making like really good suggestions and implementations. Ingi, for like continuing to like focus on all of the stuff, not only YAML related, but things like where you can actually help out and bring your expertise to what we're going to be doing in Helm 4 and beyond. Like Terry for sure, like reviews not only in Helm dub, but like you've really been like reviewing the hell out of this. I really think that, I know maybe you don't necessarily have the bandwidth to be a full maintainer at this point, but I think that would be really awesome if you do at some point. Yeah, like George, Felicia, like we've been like rocking this plugin thing out a lot, and that service apply. And Joe, you've been doing a lot of PR review too. So yeah, if there are more people on the call, I'd thank more of them, but like those are my shout outs. So thanks y'all.
And shout out to Scott, of course, for being stuff.
Social media amplifications. Does anyone have anything we need to amplify?
Not except pre-release stuff.
All right.
There's
So let's
somewhat related. There is that Debian install change in the www repo. That would be good if we merged.
Okay.
So what changed, sorry?
Yeah, just it's the Debian package is moving.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, the pre-release is gonna come out before our next dev call, yeah.
I don't know. It might. I have to check the dates.
Hold up a second.
Theory.
Yeah, it will.
Matt will create one on
the
Monday or so.
Yeah, I think Matt said the
Maybe
2nd.
Tuesday.
Yeah, and then our next dev call is on the 4th. So we're gonna have social media stuff before then. I guess we could just follow up on Slack about it.
Yeah, woohoo.
All right. So in the interest of time, and because I want to respect everyone's time, assignments for next call. Karen has put herself down as, or no, someone put Karen for next week. Is that, yep.
That was
George.
me. He said she could. So.
All right, George, you're taking moderator. Awesome. I will be on for PRs, and I will be here next week. Any other PRs, issue triage?
PRs.
Okay.
This is the big push.
This is it, team. All right. Anyone have anything else before we adjourn? Well, thanks everybody. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you guys next week.
Awesome. Thank you.